Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today, for back-to-back weeks, I am joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Kwam and Sammy. Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. It feels like I just saw you.
It does just feel like that. Just not 7 days ago were you right here in this exact spot, and I'm so happy to have you both back. We're going to have a good one. Hello to everyone out there watching on Xfinity platforms, and maybe you're watching us on the 24/7 Xfinity What to Watch channel on Xumo Play. You can watch us wherever you are in the country. Montana, North Dakota, Alaska even. If you can get Xumo Play punched up on your computer, you can watch us 24/7, all of our hangouts, What to Watch Live repeats, out there in an igloo. You can do that. But we have one more great show to add to the treasure trove of shows. This is episode 99. We're going to add 99, and let's tell you about it. We will reveal the 3 TV premieres we're most excited about this week. Kwam will tell us about the 4 networks you can enjoy for free right now. We will test our horror movie knowledge with 5 rounds of spooky sounds. We'll relive some of our favorite Xfinity Hangout interviews with Hispanic stars, and we'll drop the puck for a brand new season of NHL hockey action. So let's get things started. 99. It's time for a few of our favorite things in a segment called Appointment TV. Every week, the Xfinity editors pick the TV show, movie, or special event they are most excited about right now. This week, we kick things off with our very own Xfinity TV editor, Sammy. Sammy, what are you looking forward to?
All right. My pick for this week is the new Apple TV Plus series, Lessons in Chemistry, which premieres this Friday, October 13th. Let's take a look at a trailer.
Boom, bam, I can sing.
May I join you?
I can
You may.
jam. Wham,
You're one of the smartest people in this lab.
boom, bam, I'm a killer.
You hungry, little fella?
Yes, I am. If I can do it, you can too.
Welcome, viewers. My name is Elizabeth Zott, and this is Supper at 6.
So jazzy. I love it. All right. Lessons in Chemistry, as you could see in the trailer, is based on the novel by Bonnie Garmis, which only came out last April, by the way. So they really turned this one around quick. But it stars and is executive produced by Brie Larson. It takes place in the early 1950s and follows the character Elizabeth Zott, who is a scientist who, because of the nature of the 50s, is fired from her job as a scientist because she gets pregnant, and you can't be a mother and a scientist at the same time. So she takes a job hosting a cooking show on TV, but kind of turns it into her own way, and integrates lessons of chemistry into her TV show. She winds up teaching a lot more to the housewives of America and also the husbands who wind up watching as well. I never actually read this book, but I remember it being very popular among my friends and on Book Talk, if that's an area of TikTok that you're on. But I just love Brie Larson, and I just think she's incredible. I love watching her in non-Marvel things. So I'm really excited for this one. And honestly, anything that Apple makes is usually just incredible. So yeah, this is my pick.
Sammy, knowing that you also love Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, do you gravitate towards these types of period series?
I don't know. I don't think I realized that until you said that, but there's definitely a trend. I think I do love period pieces. I think I love shows about strong women who don't take anything and kind of forge their own way.
Did you watch, I don't know why this show, maybe it's just the time period, but did you watch Masters of Sex?
I never did.
You would really like that because now I can't think of the actress's
It's Lizzie
name.
Kaplan, right?
Lizzie Kaplan and Sheen. Michael Sheen.
Yes.
Yes, is in that. And last week you mentioned Michael Sheen as part of Prodigal Son, that series as well. So I feel like Michael Sheen, Lizzie Kaplan, really like breaking barriers at that time period as a like strong woman in science. Like
there's a Venn diagram here.
there is 100%. I'm looking forward to this too. And recently just saw the book in a bookstore on the shelves, and I was like, this looks like a brand new, like recent book.
I was really shocked to hear that it has only been out for about a year and a half. They must have Apple scooped this one up quick.
Seriously, I also like Brie Larson. This looks good. I have a similar affinity for shows set in this time period, so I'm all in. Kwame, anything to add before I swoop in?
I mean, you guys covered all the points. I'm also a fan of Brie Larson, but only because of Scott Pilgrim versus the World and her short little, not necessarily a cameo, but she was in it a little bit. But the song she sings, the Metric song,
so good.
I wish that song was on Spotify, like that version, because like that's the only version I identify with. Like the Metric version, I don't even listen to, but her version, it just gets me going every single time.
Yeah, she's awesome. I can't believe they don't have that version available.
I know I bought the soundtrack and it's still not even on the soundtrack. It's still the Metric version. I was so upset, but I'm a big Scott Pilgrim fan, and yeah.
Thank you, Kwame. Thank you, Sammy. And we will move on to the TV premiere I'm most looking forward to this week, and it is the beloved Adult Swim animated comedy series Rick and Morty, which returns for a 7th season this Sunday, October 15th at 11 p.m. Eastern. Let's take a look at the teaser.
Oh, they're finally asking us to do a promo.
Took them long enough.
Season 7 is going to be like so epic. Morty might finally date Jessica.
Oh, maybe Jerry will get a job.
Anything's possible. Old friends like Gearhead might pop up.
Oh, wait, what if Rick catches Rick Prime or Evil Morty?
Or like I build a citadel of summers and forge a summer battalion to crumble the intergalactic patriarchy.
Can we just have a regular low-stakes sitcom season? I'd rather we just got food poisoning or something.
I'd so much rather be glued to the toilet than deal with our regular antics. Anyway, watch season 7.
You think we did okay?
It's a low bar.
Probably wondering, it seems a little odd to have a Rick and Morty teaser without Rick and Morty. Well, there's a reason for that. It's always a big deal when Rick and Morty drops new episodes, but the buzz around season 7 is very different thanks entirely to the ousting of series co-creator Justin Roiland, who was fired after being charged with domestic violence, charges that were later dropped. Roiland was not only the co-creator of Rick and Morty, but he was the literal voice of both Rick and Morty, as well as dozens of other characters across the multiverse, including very beloved characters. Roiland's firing raised tons of questions about the future of the show, primarily who, if anyone, would voice the titular characters. But in a recent interview, series producer Steve Levy suggested that a voice actor or actors had been hired to imitate the Rick and Morty voices we know and love. So Rick and Morty will be close to sounding the exact same way we've heard them in the past. I'm cautiously optimistic, but also curious if these new actors can or will be able to or will be empowered to recreate the same chaotic and often improvised rambling that Justin Roiland was specifically known for. And it's one of the elements that made these characters so popular to begin with. It's just sort of that train of thought that would happen as he was recording, and then that was animated into the show. It's also worth noting that Roiland was also fired from his Hulu animated series Solar Opposites, and the lead role of Corvo the Alien was recast with former Downton Abbey star Dan Stevens, who does not do an imitation. He has a British voice now, and they simply explained the voice change as part of the storyline. But as far as Rick and Morty goes, I had read, as so many fans did, that Roiland himself was not largely included in writing episodes towards the end of his tenure. or for most of the show's run, as I understand, it was mostly co-creator Dan Harmon and a team of writers. So if you're worried about the writing being subpar, I think it's safe to say we'll still get the same quality. I'm going to be very interested to see these voices and how they hold up. I don't know if I'll be able to get out of my head. I'll be paying such close attention. It's like when a famous actor, now I'm just getting up on a soapbox. Okay, here we go. So I loved back in the day when Disney movies didn't hire famous stars, because you would hear a voice, and instead of hearing that actor, you'd totally associate it. Like Ariel is Ariel, Belle is Belle. These princes, these princesses, they are the characters they are, and the voice is synonymous with them. I think that changed somewhat with Pixar when they started hiring Tim Allen and Tom Hanks for Toy Story and some other large actors, big name actors for these roles. And granted, I totally got past Tim Allen and Tom Hanks. I think maybe it was because I was like mostly a kid still, so I just didn't think about it. But these days, you have like The Rock as Maui in Moana, and all I can hear is The Rock. Like I just can't disassociate the voice from the character. So I feel like my slightly OCD brain will not be able to stop thinking about the Rick and Morty voices, but that's my problem, not anybody else's. I'm going to stop rambling. Kwam, Sammy, thoughts?
Well, I agree that I do think it might be a bit of a challenge to disassociate, Justin's voice from the characters, but I'm always a believer in just quality, trumps everything. So if the show is good, if the writing is still good, and whoever they got to, replace Justin to voice Rick and Morty and all the other side characters that he voiced, if there's spot on, or like maybe they don't sound just like him, but they still are just really funny and make for great moments and just funny rambles, then I'm still in. I'm still in on it. I love Rick and Morty, and I was nervous, when I heard that he was dropping the show, because it's he played so many characters, and that is something that would derail a show. So I was excited when I heard it's coming back, and I'm too optimistic about the future of the show, and I'm just going to go in with rose-colored glasses and just believe in the writing and believe in the show Rick and Morty. And I love the trailer too. I mean, it still makes me chuckle. I think the show is gonna still be good.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a single episode of Rick and Morty, but the trailer did make me laugh, and I feel like this is not common, but there are eras of voice actors. Like I don't think the same SpongeBob voice actor was the same the whole time, maybe, or wait.
You can't just say that and then just not explain yourself.
Like Elmo, he was different through the years.
Elmo was different.
Kermit has had different voice actors throughout the years. So I feel like maybe this will just be like a new era of the voices.
It's a great point, especially the Kermit point. Like especially all those Muppets. That I think Tom Kenny always did SpongeBob.
I think you're right. I think I'm wrong with that one.
I was gonna say, I thought SpongeBob was like the one show where the voice actor was the same person.
Okay,
but the Muppet point is great. That's definitely something that's happened, and also like they recently did this on Family Guy too, when they changed the voice of Cleveland Brown, because Cleveland is a black character who was voiced by a white actor, and they changed that to hire a black actor to do that voice. And I don't think about it at all. I thought I would, but I don't. And he does a pretty spot on recreation. And they did the same thing with Dr. Hibbert on The Simpsons, and I haven't thought about it. So I think maybe I think I'll think about it, but I won't eventually, because I don't listen to Kermit now and think that's not
my Kermit.
What? Walt Disney did the voice of Mickey Mouse originally, and original Mickey doesn't sound anything like Mickey today, but the Mickey today is the one that is synonymous with who we think of when we think of Mickey Mouse. Same with Goofy. Bill Farmer, I think he still does Goofy, but he'll eventually retire and someone will do it. And that'll be a new generation's Goofy. Anyway, I've rambled way too long, and we have so many more. Well, we have Quam. Quam, your pick? Yeah. Sorry for taking up so much time.
It's okay because I was invested too in your thoughts. But my pick for this week is Goosebumps. Disney's remaking the classic horror novel series, and honestly, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good adaptation. So let's take a quick look at the teaser. So just from that quick look, it is looking like it's going to capture everything that I loved about the Goosebumps series. So it's like I said, it's an upcoming horror comedy series based on R.L. Stine's legendary book series. After accidentally releasing supernatural forces, 5 teenagers must find a way to work together to recapture them, also while discovering their parents' deep, dark secrets from their teenage years. I was honestly hoping this was going to be an anthology series, similar to how Goosebumps was. So like each episode would be a different story. That way it can keep things fresh and new. But like I said, this quick teaser sold me on it. And I'm just excited. I used to love the Goosebumps series. I used to love a lot of scary. Quick tangent. Okay, let me go for my own tangent.
Yeah.
Netflix, if you're watching this, Hulu, whoever, just please make it. Scary stories to tell in the dark. That needs to be a show. That could totally be a show. It could be an anthology series like this one could have been. But please, someone make that. Anyway, yes, I used to love a lot of horror novels as a kid. I still love horror today, and I'm just super excited for this show. You can't tell. Yes, David, that is Justin Long. I know you asked about that, and yes, that is indeed Justin Long. And yeah, I have nothing more to say about this show other than I'm just super excited for it. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this one is one that came out of nowhere. I didn't even hear that this was being made. I have every original Goosebumps book in a box that I've recently just dug up because, side tangent, I was recently at a local Philadelphia had like a Comic-Con type event. It's called I don't remember what it's called now, but there was an actor who not an actor. I am all over the place. I'm gonna slow down for a second. There was an artist at that event who created several covers for Goosebump books, and he was the artist who created Slappy, the dummy, who I think is who we see in this poster here. And I bought one of his sketches that he did of Slappy so that I could have it framed. And I was like, I think I have those books. What if I have my original book framed with this? So I went digging and found it. And I have every original book before they started doing spin-offs like Choose Your Own Ending, and Goosebumps 2000 was a spin-off, I think, of the series. But this is like, these books essentially got me to read. Like, I didn't read until I got Goosebump books. I would lay in bed at night and finish an entire Goosebump book, which, now novels are like hundreds and hundreds of pages, but like back then, reading anything that was like more than like 20 pages was a real feat for a kid. And those books weren't maybe 100, 150 pages. I would finish a book in a whole night and just felt like I was king of the world, the smartest person in the universe, just finished a whole novel. But I loved them. Like, I really did. And I remember in school, they even started they were banned in some schools for being too scary. And R.L. Stine had the spinoff that was Fear Street, which Netflix recently made a series off of, and or a series of movies. And Fear Street, if you were like, I don't read Goosebumps, I read Fear Street, you're like, oh man, this guy's a badass. Reads Fear Street? He can handle Fear Street? That's really scary. But I don't know. I stuck to Goosebumps.
Wow, I'm really exposing myself
today.
Sammy,
please don't.
I was such a scaredy cat as a kid, and I still am now. Like, I probably will not watch this series because it looks too scary for me, even though it's based off of a children's book series. But it was too scary for me as a kid. I couldn't even do the Harry Potters.
What?
Oh, no.
Wow.
I
That's
had a
intense.
lot of fears as a child. But I do love Justin Long, so maybe he'll be enough to get me in.
David, I'm interested in knowing what was your favorite Goosebumps book?
Oh, so it's funny. I associate the books with their covers. So sometimes I can't even remember the titles, but I do remember I enjoyed Say Cheese and Die was a classic. But there was also Monster Blood, I believe, was one, and there was like three of them. There was like Monster Blood 1, 2, or 3. There was one with a hamster who grew too big, and the cover was him like busting out of his cage. And there was one that was set in an amusement park that I really liked as well, and one where there was a shark coming up from under the water. It was like something the deep or
I
whatever.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but what did you have a favorite?
I did have a favorite. I can't remember the name. I don't think it's Say Cheese and Die, because I do remember Say Cheese and Die. It was the one where this kid found a mirror and like the reflection was like an alternate version of him.
Yes.
And that one has creeped me out, because at the end of the spoiler alert for no one who has read this book, or maybe it shows up in the show, but the kid gets trapped in the mirror because his alternate version is able to escape, and that just scared me from like looking into the mirror for the longest time, because I was like so terrified that my tethered version would come and take me away. But yeah,
they adapted that one in the old Fox Kids Goosebumps series, where they were like, because there was a Fox like afternoons had a Goosebumps series where they adapted episodes or books into episodes, and that was one of them. And almost this show, I have such a vivid memory of the person looking at their reflection in the mirror and getting trapped in there. Almost scarier than the book, honestly. Does some streaming network have the original Goosebumps series?
I don't know. That's something we should probably figure out.
We should. This is where I would say, Brad, Caitlin,
or Josh, one of y'all, please.
Josh, find out if some streamer has that series. Oh, we'll be deep into the next segment before we get to that. Fan Expo was the name of the Comic-Con here in Philly. I just had to say it because it was going to drive me crazy. That's great. Thank you, Quam. I'm very excited about this. Disney Plus and Hulu, which is a rarity for that crossover, so you can watch it on either. And you can check out all the TV shows we just discussed and so much more simply by saying what to watch into your Xfinity voice remote now. Next up, we celebrate the final week of Hispanic Heritage Month and more in the latest edition of Free This Week. Xfinity's Free This Week program continues with a free preview of A&E Crime Central for all you true crime fans out there, as well as free previews of Cine Latino, Canal de Drama, and Primo TV in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. And here to tell us more about all the TV shows, movies, and specials you can enjoy for free through October 15th is our very own Xfinity music editor, Quam. Quam, tell us more.
Thank you again, David. Yes, Free This Week continues the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month with the networks Cine Latino, Canal de Drama, and Primo. See, I almost butchered it too, David. Check out titles like No Machas Frida. Oh my gosh, I'm exposing myself. Check out titles like No Machas Frida. The sees a bank robber try to recover the money that he stole and was stashed in what is now a school and gymnasium. Or if you want to get into the spooky season, A&E Crime Central will have everything that you need. Learn about some of the most devious criminals and gangsters, America's most evil, or hear about some of the gruesome stories of survival in I Survived a Serial Killer. Check out all these titles and so much more. These will all be perfect for spooky season or continuing Hispanic Heritage Month. Just say Free This Week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Thank you, Quam. See, last week I really butchered all of the Spanish language titles and networks, so now I'm in good company.
I told you last week that I'm also just very bad at Spanish. So just prove the point.
Thank you very much for that, Quam. Xfinity's Free This Week program offers a new selection of free content from streaming services and premium networks every week of the year with no strings attached. Just say free or free this week into your voice remote to check it out. Next up, night creatures call and the dead start to walk in their masquerade. It's a killer thriller night in the latest edition of What to Watch This Week. Spooky season has arrived, and if you're looking to add a little monster mash into your Halloween bash, look no further than Xfinity's Spooky Season soundtrack collection, which has been chillingly curated by our very own Xfinity music editor, Quam. Quam, tell us about it.
Thank you again, David. It's time to get into the spooky spirit with all the music to make your skin crawl and your hips shake. Check out music inspired by your favorite horror subgenres. My personal favorite is the undead. I think there's just so much music that is inspired by zombies. I think the most famous is Michael Jackson's Thriller. Or check out hits to get your Halloween party started. I'm a personal fan of what's the song called? Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. That is my jam. I'm not going to sing it because I do not have a singing voice. David, I hope you will sing it for us. You can also discover the dark side of your favorite genres or even check out your level of spookiness. Sammy, there's something there for you if you're just not ready to go into the do not enter section. I think mildly uncomfortable will get you in the Halloween spirit. You can check out all this and so much more by saying Halloween music into your Xfinity voice remote or just saying what to watch.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
There we go. I didn't have the falsetto in me. I knew you did.
Barely have it. I don't know what that is. Quam, I'm so excited that we're talking about this today. And in honor of your Spooky Season soundtrack collection, I thought we'd play a little game because no movie genre creates a more haunting, spine-tingling, earwormy, unforgettable theme song quite like the horror movie genre. And I'm curious if you and Sammy can identify these absolutely iconic horror themes based on just a few notes. Are you ready?
It's going to be rough.
I'm so ready.
All right, let's play number one.
Do we need to name the composer or just name
No,
the movie?
just the movie.
Okay. Friday the 13th.
Psycho.
Quam, you are right. It is Friday the 13th. Great guess.
Yes. I mean, it's not everyone knows the
I know.
Everyone but me.
You don't watch horror, so
So the score for the original 1980 Friday the 13th was composed by Harry Manfredini, who was tasked with creating a haunting tune that could represent the killer in their absence, since the killer in this movie is not actually revealed until the film's final scenes. Manfredini also made the decision to only play the music when the killer was actually present in the scene, so as to not manipulate the audience into thinking that something was about to happen when it wasn't. And as you mentioned, Quam, that iconic is actually ki, 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 ma, ma, ma. And the sound is reportedly derived from a line of dialogue when Mrs. Voorhees says, "Kill her mommy." The ki being taken from the word kill and the ma being taken from the word mommy. Ki, 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 ma, ma, ma. Manfredini also composed the score for 8 Friday the 13th sequels. So apparently they liked what he did, and he did it over and over again.
that's pretty iconic. Oh my gosh! So he essentially sampled the movie that he had to make a. That's next level.
It is, and that's why it's. And I also just love the thought of like he kind of took a cue from Jaws, where like you don't see Jaws, but you hear that donna 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 when Jaws was there, and it's the same thing. You don't see the killer, but you hear the music that indicates that the killer is there, and then you don't find out who that is. If you haven't seen who the killer is in Friday the 13th, like Sammy, do you have no idea?
I have no idea.
Okay, well I won't
Somehow
spoil
the
it for you.
Spoiler alert has never phased me. I don't know. Like an anomaly.
I won't spoil it. I purposely did not spoil it, just in case.
I appreciate that.
All right, let's move on to number 2 and give that a play. good.
It's definitely something 80s. It's definitely something 80s.
You're right.
Sammy, you want to give
Is
your first
this-
whirl?
Oh no.
I think I know it.
Is this The Shining?
No.
No. Oh
Well,
no. I'm just gonna stop talking.
What was that movie? Is it The Thing?
It is not.
Oh, okay. Let me
It
go.
is. You want to try again?
No.
Oh gosh, there's. If you go reveal it, and I'm like, oh, I knew it. Just go.
It's A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So the score for the original 1984 A Nightmare on Elm Street was composed by Charles Bernstein, who was forced to create an entirely electronic soundscape for the film, thanks mostly in part to the film's low budget. They just didn't have the budget to do it any other way. Bernstein said, however, that the electronic sounds complemented the ideas he already had for the slasher flick. And Bernstein has also composed the scores for horror movies such as The Entity and Cujo. And that little tune there is just 10 notes. The theme is just sort of this low rumble, and then 10 notes, and then back to the low rumble, and then 10 notes. And that's pretty much the gist of it. But again, iconic.
If Scott is watching, he's gonna be so disappointed in me.
Let's move on to number 3. I'm sure Kwam will get this one. Let's play it.
Now
Ooh.
I feel a lot of pressure because I have no idea what this one is.
Really?
I don't.
I got nothing.
I'll give you some hints. There are 10 movies in this series, and this theme song plays at the end in the final scene of all 10 movies.
Halloween.
No.
There's a lot of that one though,
There
right?
are.
That was a good guess though. Okay, 10 movies. Saw?
Yes!
Yes.
Yes. So the score for director James Wan's 2004 Gore Fest Saw was composed by Grammy Award-winning Nine Inch Nails collaborator Charlie Clouser, who completed the film's soundtrack in just 6 weeks. The main theme we just heard, which is titled Hello Zepp, is often played in the Saw movies during major plot twists or major reveals, but it is also played in the closing moments of all 10 films, slowly growing in intensity as the film's final twist is uncovered before the closing credits. In addition to the Saw franchise, Clouser also composed the music for the American Horror Story series on FX.
So I am not the biggest fan of the Saw series. I like Saw 1 and Saw 2, and then I saw Saw. I saw like a few others kind of like here and there, willy-nilly, but oh man, now that you say like it's at like you at the reveal of something big, I can totally hear it now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the final moments of each movie kind of does like a recap and almost like shows you things you didn't see, or like puts all the pieces together of the movie, and it's like, oh my god, that's what's really going on. They play that over the ending, and it's just kind of become, I don't know, one of the things that they do in all of the movies. All right, theme number 4. Let's play it. Let's give Sammy, because I think Kwam knows it. Oh, sorry, Sammy.
Sammy.
Why? It sounds so familiar. If that helps my case at all, I just don't know from what.
Kwam.
It's Halloween, Sammy. It's
Oh.
Halloween. If you can't tell, the blurred picture is a pumpkin.
It's actually
I'm
not
trying not to
Halloween.
look.
It's not Halloween.
Wait, then what am I thinking of? Wait a
So
minute.
there.
Wait a minute.
So
Pause.
much
Time out.
confidence.
Time out. I know. This is crazy.
Can
Wait.
we play it again? Caitlin, can we play it again?
Can we get a rerun?
Josh?
No? Okay. Oh,
I'll
God.
do it. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Now I can't even think of what Halloween is.
Oh, gosh.
It's
so
not
iconic.
Halloween, though.
It's not Halloween. It's so iconic, but it's not Halloween. Okay. Now I'm a failure. I lose at my own game. Okay.
It is The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Not a pumpkin.
It's
Not a pumpkin.
It's actually a screaming kid.
So, original music for director William Friedkin's 1973 horror masterpiece, The Exorcist, was written by composer Jack Nitzsche. But the iconic theme we just heard, entitled Tubular Bells, was actually released 7 months before the film premiered as British musician Mike Oldfield's debut studio album. While reportedly looking for a song that had a childlike feel, Friedkin stumbled upon Tubular Bells and persuaded Warner Brothers, the studio who produced The Exorcist, to buy the rights. As far as music for the rest of the film, Friedkin explored a variety of options before settling on modern classical compositions and the aforementioned original tunes by Nitzsche, who was Oscar nominated for scoring One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and won an Oscar for co-writing the song Up Where We Belong for the film An Officer and a Gentleman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So lots there.
This is some deep lore.
I'm
Thank
disappointed with myself. I am still kicking myself that I did not get this one.
I cannot think of the Halloween theme song in my head because all I have is Tubular Bells. I don't know. We'll think of it later and yeah, whatever. 5. This is your time to shine, Sammy. Let's play it.
This is The Shining.
It was your time to shine. I even gave you a hint. The Shining. So this is where we're going to bring it all together. The score for director Stanley Kubrick's iconic 1980 film The Shining was composed by Wendy Carlos, who we mentioned on last week's episode, and Rachel Elkind, who initially wrote about 30 songs based on the Stephen King source material, as well as an early version of the film. Unfortunately, only 2 or 3 of those tracks actually made it into the final version of The Shining, including the main theme we just heard, which was created using the revolutionary 1960s Moog synthesizer, which was one of the first commercially available synthesizers in music. Carlos also composed the scores for Kubrick's 1971 film A Clockwork Orange. She apparently also wrote a ton of music for that, and Kubrick only used a couple tracks there too. And she also composed the 1982 Disney classic Tron. So really impressive body of work there. And she's as we learned last week, Grammy winner.
Yes, friend of the show, Wendy Carlos.
Friend of the show. It's incredible how much music, like hours of music, was created for The Shining based on scenes that were written or filmed but never made the final cut. And she did eventually release albums that included all of the music from The Shining, as well as, I believe, some Clockwork Orange music that never saw the light of day. So horror fans, if you're like, I love The Shining and I love this music, there's so much more you've never heard. And I think that album is available out there. I was looking at Wendy's website, which is an amazing relic of like Angel Fire GeoCities Day, which you're probably too young to even know. We're talking about like when you built your own website. It's just beautiful. Thank you. I believe Quam does technically win, but Sammy, you closed strong. That was fun.
Well, Sammy got
right?
one.
I learned a lot, you know?
I did too.
Yeah,
well, great.
You did learn.
You can check out. You did learn.
I did learn something. Not to be so confident. Don't flash too close to the sun.
You can check out Quam's spooky season soundtrack and more simply by saying Halloween or what to watch into your Xfinity voice remote. Next up, we celebrate our favorite interviews with Latino superstars in this week's Xfinity Hangouts. Today, we kick off the final week of Hispanic Heritage Month, and as part of the Xfinity editor's ongoing salute to Hispanic TV, movies, music, and culture, we recently released a brand new episode of Xfinity Hangouts featuring our favorite interviews with Latino stars. For more on this, we turn to Sammy. Sammy, tell us about this special.
Thank you, David. As David mentioned, we are in the last leg of Hispanic Heritage Month, but there's still plenty of celebrating to do, and you can do it on demand with our amazing collection. Our page serves as a reminder of how important and powerful it is to have people who look like you on screen and in leading roles, or telling stories that are authentic. In honor of the month, we've created a special episode of Xfinity Hangouts that brings together some of our favorite Latino stars like Jennifer Lopez, Jenna Ortega, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Becky G. Here is a sneak peek at one of our favorite clips from multicultural editor Liz's conversation with Becky G.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I mean, it's literally embedded in everything that I do. And I hold my community so close to my heart. I don't look at the Latino community and say, oh, poor us. We need so much more. No, we are who we are and we deserve so much more. It comes more from a place of empowerment. And so really hoping to inspire those bigger conversations in my peers and the ones to come, that we are worthy simply because we exist.
I love that. And I love Becky G.
And I love that Liz makes sure to ask those important questions in her interviews as well. And Becky G is just so cute.
Mm-hmm. She does. And a lot of these episodes are, a lot of what you'll see in this episode are all hosted by Liz, who does such an incredible job of tapping into her own experiences as a Latino woman and relating to the people that she's talking to and really creating some important and fun and heartfelt conversations, whether it's with Jennifer Lopez or, as you said, Jenna and Becky. And there's even a clip. And then there's me talking to Lin-Manuel Miranda at some point. But even though I'm not coming from a place of personal experience with Lin-Manuel, we did have a really great conversation where he talked about actor and musician Ruben Blades, who you might know from Fear the Walking Dead, and how his family was friends with Ruben, and growing up, Lin-Manuel's parents always looked to Ruben as the standard of what someone could be in the business, and Ruben went to Harvard Law School, and so they wanted that for Lin-Manuel. It was always like, you can go to Ruben Blades went to Harvard, like you should go do that too. And he's like, no, I want to make music. So we had a really great conversation, and that's included in the special. And Liz does a great job of setting up all of the clips in the episode and talking more about her experiences. So really, really great way to cap off your Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. Thank you for telling us more about it, Sammy. Check out the Xfinity Hangouts Hispanic Heritage Month special right now by saying Hangouts into your Xfinity voice remote. Next up, ducks fly together in an all-new edition of sports. The 2023-24 NHL season begins tomorrow, Tuesday, October 10th, with 3 matchups. The Nashville Predators versus the Tampa Bay Lightning at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Pittsburgh Penguins at 8 p.m. Eastern, and the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights versus the Seattle Kraken at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and all 3 games are on ESPN. But you didn't need me to tell you all of that. All you have to do is say NHL or hockey into your Xfinity voice remote to access our NHL Hub, featuring hockey games that are on now and coming soon. You can also browse the latest NHL news or follow your favorite team by clicking this big banner and selecting your NHL team to receive highlights, live game alerts, and more on your Xfinity device, specifically tailored to your squad. But if you're interested in scouting the competition, you can also browse by team. You can also watch shows and documentaries about hockey and really just get primed for this hockey season. I've got my Flyers shirt on right there. Gonna enjoy that while I can. We'll see if they make the playoffs this year. Probably But, I'm just going to really enjoy the regular season and the preseason because who knows? Typical being a Philly fan. All right, let's bring Kwame and Sammy back in now. I'm just rambling about the Flyers. Do either of you like hockey? I don't even know this.
I love hockey.
Do you?
Really?
Yes. So I played field hockey growing up. So the gameplay is familiar to me, whereas football, I still cannot wrap my head around. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Hockey makes sense to me. We also had an ice hockey team at my high school, and those games were so fun. Yeah, I love hockey. I am a Devils fan at heart, simply because I know, but you'll understand my reasoning.
Okay.
I'm from New Jersey, and they're the only professional sports team that we have left. So I have to hold on to that, But that said, I've never actually been to a Devils game, or I've been to multiple Flyers games. I just wish the Flyers were better. That's all.
Me too. Kwame, hockey fan?
Not a hockey fan. I do like when Philly sports wins. And so if they so happen to make the playoffs and make a deep run, you can catch me at the ice rink cheering on the Flyers in my Eagles jersey or a Phillies cap or something. But no, I'm not a hockey fan like that. So
I think this is a bold statement. I think hockey is maybe my favorite sport to watch live.
really,
I love football and I love baseball, but hockey is almost non-stop action from puck drop to closing horn. What do they say? I don't even swear I'm a hockey fan. I can't even think of any fun words. It is just nonstop from beginning to end. Whereas obviously football, you got TV timeouts, it's slow. It's just nonstop. It's so much fun to watch. It is very cold though.
Yes, but I am a sweater person. I love dressing for sporting events. It's hard to do that at baseball. It's really hot. Football, I've never actually been to a football game, so I can't speak to that. But I love layering up. I love accessories. I just feel like, hockey lends itself to some good fashion. Kwame, you should be all about this.
Sammy, I was literally about to ask you if your family has any New Jersey Devil hockey jerseys that they can part ways with. Please, your boy right here has been looking for a solid hockey jersey.
I feel like you'd look good in orange. You must have some orange in your closet.
I got a little bit of orange, but I don't know. The Jersey Devils jersey is actually pretty fire. So
it is. Red and black.
Jamie, if you have a hockey jersey that you're willing to part ways with, I would also take that too. If it's the Flyers, you know me. You see my videos. I put it on. I'll put it on.
Well, I love hockey. Hockey's also fun on TV. For all the reasons I just said. And as a wrestling fan, also, it's the only sport you can watch fighting where it's like kind of okay. So it doesn't happen very often, but when it does,
it's fun.
It is a lot of fun. You can see fighting at most Philly sports games. It's just not happening out on the field.
Yeah, it's not on the field.
It's not. Hockey starts tomorrow. Just say NHL, hockey, or sports into your voice remote, whichever is easiest for you to remember, and you can check it out right now. And that will do it for today's show. Another fun one. Thank you to my fellow Xfinity editors, Sammy and Kwame, for joining me again this week, 2 in a row. I'm very appreciative. Shout out to our producers, Caitlin and Josh, and everyone else behind the scenes who make this whole thing happen and keep it all running. If you want to check out the TV shows or movies we just talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview huge celebrities like we just talked about, you can just say what to watch into your voice remote, or tune in here every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern for a new episode. You can also check us out 24/7 across the country on the Xfinity What to Watch channel on Zumo. My name is, of course, David, as it has always been. Thank you for joining us on What to Watch Live.
Bye.